Coach, I know you weren't here, but improving the back end of the defense had to be a priority for Coach Henry coming into this season. What gives you confidence that they can take a step this season?
It's just the act of doing, the act of acknowledging, hey, we weren't who we wanted to be last year, and these are the things we have to get better at. So it's acknowledgement, it's owning it, and I think the players, most importantly, they've owned it. It's no shying away from it. They really know, hey, this is who we are, and this is what we got to get better at. And so the coaches, the players, we're all working. We all got our hands on the same rope, thinking, Coach B's way, tough, smart, dependable. Well, we got to be dependable in the dang on back end. We got to be able to cover some people deep down the field. We've got to be able to do those things without being penalized. So we're working at that right now, every single day, in a hot sun, grinding, fussing at each other, really driving the players to be their best. But as coaches, we're driving each other to be our best too. So you see a lot of that right now. There's real good positive energy. Pushback is probably the best thing in every organization in the world. So I'm able to give Coach A. Henry some pushback. He's able to give me some pushback, and ultimately we're able to get a room some pushback on, hey, these are the things that we expect. This is how we want to get it done, because him and I have already talked several times in the office that these are some of the things that we got to get better at this year.
Personnel-wise, it's a mix of returning guys with experience plus guys back from injury and then some new faces in the room. Does it feel like a different vibe than it did maybe back in the spring or maybe when you first arrived on campus?
When I first got here on campus, we were just in summer workouts. But you see the guys, ultimately, they're so intrigued about competing with each other. And my belief is that is a new element because there are new people involved. Anytime a new piece gets added to the puzzle, the other pieces are wondering, hey, man, where do I fit in this? Well, you may not fit unless you go and take a spot. And so that's what you really see going on, like that competitive drive. It drives every man. Iron sharpens iron is one of the best quotes ever known to mankind. Well, it's real around here. You see guys pushing each other every single day, so that makes them even push the offense even better. So the offense then gives us some push. But ultimately, they're developing that rigor every single day, every single rep, every single play, and it's creating a level of synergy amongst the team. You hear a little jaw jacking, a little trash talking, and that's when you know juices are flowing and guys are excited and they don't really care what anybody else is saying or doing. They're trying to get their jobs done at the fastest and the strongest that they possibly can.
We asked you about the idea of Terrance Brooks when he got hired.
Yeah.
What's it look like on the field? What's he bring to your group?
Oh, he brings an element to the group that was here and around, but now you actually see him doing it and doing some of the things that we expect him to do. He's got some power, he's got some speed, he's got some technique, but he's still got to work on some things, and he knows that. And that's what the room is all about, coming into it with a level of humility to say, hey, this is what I'm good at, coach. These are my weaknesses. I need to help them at these things. The group needs to grow at these things, ultimately, for Coach Aaron Henry's defense. So he's pretty excited about what the new stuff that he's learned from me so far. And but ultimately, he's given himself a chance to be humble enough to listen and learn and take in new information instead of just coming here and saying, hey, I'm this new guy from this university and this is what I do. No, it's about what we do. It's about who we are. And he's about that we feel, and that's big around here. It's going to help us.
Torrie doesn't maybe have that height that everyone looks for, but what does he bring to the group, and does he add some versatility where he can play kind of inside out?
Oh, no doubt he has some versatility, and a lot of times it happens naturally in just what we do defensively. He'll play inside the slot or he'll play outside. He's the dude is quick as a cat, man. He's quick and he's smart, and he always puts himself in great position because he's been a short guy his whole life. So he's figured out ways to play big in big moments. So he's made some plays in practice that you just take a look and you say, whoa. You know what I mean? You got a little bit of shock factor, like he was able to do two jobs at one time. So he really takes pride in his work, and we love that inside of the room because he doesn't never allow his stature to become a crutch. He's ultimately trying to show other guys, hey, these are some things that you need to, maybe try too, bro. This is some of the things that I do in this type of situation when I'm going up against a taller receiver, because the receivers are always taller than him. So he's able to give other guys a little bit of advice here and there on, hey, this is how you maybe handle Bryant when he's down in the low red zone versus you. So we love that type of, like I said, we love that type of synergy. We love that type of communication amongst each other. So those two guys have brought that to the room, and it's been really good with the leadership of Xavier.
What
Can you tell me about the Mayhem King belt?
The Mayhem King belt has been it's been moving around a whole lot of rooms. We just haven't had it in our room yet. You know what I mean? We did a good job in the back end and covered up guys very, very well and created a lot of coverage opportunities that now have created great rush opportunities for the defensive linemen. So it's been in the defensive line room. Gabe had it, right? And he does an excellent job for us. And then Rosie had it, punching the ball out from people. So we had a lot of different guys had it. We had a safety get it the other day, had a couple of picks, but the corners haven't had it yet. So the thirst, the hunger to get that thing is here. It's like prevalent right now. So we're pretty excited about the Mayhem King belt. Obviously, Coach Ahen with it, his idea with that was excellent idea, and it is moving around. A lot of good energy around the program, around the defense right now. The guys are wearing it around their waist or wearing it on their shoulder or sitting inside their locker. So it's really creating just that extra piece of fun. Football should be fun. It should be enjoyable. It should be something that you're excited to come and see. So you're excited to find out every day. We got a drum roll. Who's the Mayhem King? And then Coach Aaron Henry pops it up on the screen, and then boom, show some highlights of that guy, and he gets the belt. So it's been great.
Are there one or two guys in your room that have emerged as vocal leaders in the group?
Oh, well, obviously, Xavier is a part of our leadership council, and he is the alpha male in the room. He is leading the guys vocally. He's leading the guys athletically. And you wouldn't think a guy would have that much confidence returning from an injury like that. But he is so cerebral in his approach that he hasn't allowed anything physical to affect who he is mentally. So he brings that to the room every day. And then he comes out in the field and he's producing. So the guys not only see a vocal leader that's just talking, he's actually doing. So he's showing them, hey, you can follow my lead. And he'll also tell them when he's wrong, hey, I got to clean up my eyes on this, guys. Try to use this technique that Coach Parker was talking about in this scenario. So it's great having leadership like that inside a room, along with other vets that have played for us. You'll hear Jakeem Clark. He'll speak up. Juice, he'll speak up in a room. You'll hear Caleb Patterson speak up in a room. Guys speak up, and they're talking to each other, amongst each other, because they got to do that on the field naturally. They have to do it. I'm not going to be out there. Coach Aaron Henry's not going to be out there. They have to learn how to communicate effectively, and that's happening in the room naturally every day. I'm making them get up in a room and talk about the receivers. This receiver does this release well. This receiver runs this route. They have to do oral presentation in the room. I'm a high school educator at the end of the day. I'm a teacher. So I'm having them do projects and homework that's making them have to use their mind instead of just worrying about using their feet and their hips. Because if your mind is well and you got an idea who the receiver is, you do such a greater job of covering them because you respect who he is. You did homework the night before on who he is. So that's what we've been doing to really get that leadership to come out of every single guy. That vocal leadership come out every single guy, not just Xavier, but Xavier has no doubt about it, has stepped up and led those guys, and I really appreciate him for that work.
Both Caleb and G progressed since they got a lot of reps.
Yes.
Spring.
Yes.
How are they kind of fitting in that competition and pushing those?
Oh yeah, they're there. They're right there, pushing each other, pushing others. Everyone has had an opportunity to rotate in with the ones at this point, doing it by committee to really see who's the best pieces of the puzzle, right? And they'll show it by production. It's no brother-in-law system. It's no friendship to it. It's just the best guys that produce. And Coach Aaron Henry has us set up with like a chart that's really charting their targets. Like, hey, you were targeted this many times. This is how many catches you gave up in those opportunities. It's in black and white. Here's the data. I like you, but I love production on the field. So that's really what's happening. And you see the guys are always worried about, shoot, I can't give up a pass. I'm working my butt off on this. I'm working my butt off on that. And the why is they know there's another guy that's trying to have better data than them to prove I deserve the 1 reps or the 2 reps when it's time to actually make the full in concrete depth chart. So right now it's been by committee, and those 2 guys have really pushed themselves to get better, get stronger, be tougher at the line of scrimmage and press when they're in off coverage, do a great job of owning their leverage. They did an excellent job at just learning some of the new techniques that I've taught them, but ultimately the defensive scheme has allowed it because, they're covering for dang on 3 or 4 seconds and then Gabe gets home for a sack. You know what I mean? And AB gets home for a sack. So, yeah, they're doing a great job, but they've also got some good complementary players that are around them that really makes what we do as a whole a we thing. It's about the defense, not one singular guy. Chase is tough. He's physical, right? And he brings that type of edge to it. You know, he's got that New Orleans toughness in him, right? And but he has an older brother that plays at another school, and he talks to him always about technique and just confirmation about some of the things that I'm teaching him. And his brother told him, hey, your coach know a little bit of something. Go ahead and listen to him. He had a first rounder last year. Me and Chase sat down and talked about that yesterday. We both smiled about it, and at that point I knew the light bulb had cut on. He's ready to fully take coaching instead of sometimes maybe questioning either his judgment, not mine, but his judgment and his ability on the field. He's like, Coach, I'm not worried no more. I'm just ready to play. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to take all the stress off my back, because that's what football camp does to young men. It creates stress and anxiety on them because they're so worried about the right now, immediate gratification. And I told them, bro, this is a slow cooker. This is a crock pot, bro. It's gonna taste so much better when you get home to it. Don't put it in the microwave. Don't rush it. It's a process. Be prepared for the process and enjoy the process. And that's exactly where Chase is at right now. He's enjoying the process after that conversation we had yesterday.
I know